So, if you want to unlock the true easy mode for Elden Ring, it's going to take you a little bit of time, about an hour. So, if that's too much, you don't want to sit through an hour prep, click off now. But if you're interested in the easiest of easy modes for Elden Ring, sit through. This video is like an hour and 8 minutes long, but at the 44-minute mark, you'll be set up for the rest of the game. And then I go into a little bit of extra detail on how to increase your character a little bit further and how to get to the best farm spot in the game for runes. But let's jump into the video. So, starting out, you make a character. Very important, by the way, that you select the golden seed as your starting item. Otherwise, you're not going to have the exact amount of golden seeds to get the 10 flasks for the 44-minute mark. So, starting out, as always, you're going to spawn in the Chapel of Anticipation. And I'm going to jump off the side here. If you want to fight the boss, you're more than welcome to. Doesn't change much. We're going to end up in the exact same location. So I take the dive, and now I am going to be spawning in the Stranded Graveyard, I believe it's called. We get our 4 flasks. We get 3 crimson and one FP flask to start off with, and grab the Site of Grace. If you want to come back here, there is a seed at the end of that dungeon, but we are not going to be going down there and getting that one. So grab the Site of Grace at the first step if you ever want to come back here. And then we're going to move to the first Church of Ella. So keep in mind, we have 1 golden seed already. So we can already get an additional flask. If the Tree Sentinel aggro's onto you, by the way, when you're running over here, you could be more careful and go further around than I did, but I used the archway to get distance so I could actually reset. So after you get the first Church of Ella Site of Grace, you're going to head northeast up the dirt road to the Gatefront Ruins, and we're going to grab that Site of Grace, rest at it, and talk with Melina so that we can get Torrent. You're going to accept because declining makes this way harder, and actually I don't believe you can beat the game maidenless unless someone has found a way around that. So accept, get Torrent, put them on your whatever hotkey you want. You can grab that map fragment right there if you want to. And now we're going to head south across the bridge and into Weeping Peninsula. Now, the reason we're going to Weeping Peninsula first is because there are 3 sacred tiers in the Weeping Peninsula, all relatively close by to one another. Very minimal traveling between each point. And that'll allow us to +3 reinforce our flash 3 times. You can do this within 15-20 minutes of spawning into the game, which is a very strong start for most people. And we're going to make a point to stop and grab this mace. Now, I started as a samurai, but if you pick any other starting class, for what we're going to do a little bit later on, you're going to need a bleed weapon. So that mace should be usable by every class in the game when we combine it with a talisman that we're also going to get just a little further on in here. So after we grab the mace, we're going to rest at the site of grace because we'll be returning to it probably. And now we're going to head south down the road past the Knight Cavalry, where we're going to get our first golden seed. But first, I'm going to grab the map fragment. Now, the golden seed is over these cliffs. I get a little confused because I thought it was right there, so I end up running back and forth. But it was actually just the next cliff over. I can see it over the ridge right here. So this is technically our first golden seed that we picked up, but that's golden seed number 2. Now we're going to return to the last site of grace by the merchant. And we are heading west from the site of grace. We're going to follow this cliffside around to the right. And up top will be our first sacred tier. And by the way, I'm going to slow the video down every time we pick one up, just so there's less of a chance that anyone misses any of this, because the rest of the video is going to be on ×2. So we grab that first sacred tier, and now heading north along the top of the mountain line here, we're going to look for the spot where we can go down. If you see these pillars, that's where it is. You're going to drop down right there, run across, and then we're going to go west across the bridge. Continuing down the path, going north. Now we can actually see the church right here, and this is going to be sacred tier number 2. So now turning around and heading, we're continuing west. You can see the next church off in the distance next to the walking mausoleum. And this will be our third sacred tier. And now I'm going to rest here to reset aggro on the mobs I pulled. And after resting, we're going to return to the Gatefront Ruins. And then we're going to head north to go get a golden seed and speak with the NPC Rudreka, who is the spirit tuner who upgrades all of these summons for you within the game. And here's golden seed number 3. Now, resting at the site of grace, if you pull the wolves is necessary, or you have to fight them. But you're going to come over here and you're going to exhaust all the dialogue with her, because if you don't do this now, you will miss out on the jellyfish summon that she gives you, and the emote, like a sideways sitting pose. Because once we venture past this point, she will go to the round table hold, and you won't be able to get those items. You won't be able to get the item or the emote anymore. So let's see here. After we talk to her, we're heading east. Down this dirt road. There's a more direct path, but I got a little lost. And now we have Alexander. Once again, if you don't talk to Alexander here and free him from this hole, you miss out on another emote. because we will be going into Kalids for a couple of things. So you just want to give them a couple whacks from behind, pop them out of the hole, talk to them. You get the emote, you get the item, and that's it. Those are the only two NPCs that you have to interact with in Limgrave before leaving it. Otherwise, you miss out on an item or two and a couple of emotes. So from here on out, we won't be talking to many NPCs. I think I talked to one or two more, just for the sake of talking to them and showing you what they have. But yeah, so we're going to cross this bridge. We're going to grab the Site of Grace first, and then we're going to cross the bridge. And there is a smithing stone here on the corpse on the left-hand side of the bridge you can pick up. Later on in the video, when I do like the extra portion where I like show you guys like how to upgrade your weapon to +5, we'll come back to that. But if you grab it now, you don't have to worry about that. So further east, we're gonna come to these this steep drop off, and there's like these little like they look like kind of like headstones. And down here is the Third Church of America, where we will get a the 4th sacred tier. So yeah, here we get the 4th sacred tier, and we also get our Wondrous Physic, which is a amazing item that has a variety of uses. But now we're going to continue south, and we're going to get our 4th golden seed, which is located just in front of this fort. And then we're going to go in the fort to get the 1/2 of the Dectus medallion, which we will use later on. And right there is another map fragment. Now there's a Site of Grace right here. You might want to use this if you plan on doing Kenneth's questline. Kenneth and Nefeli's questline will give you 1 free Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone and another one for 20,000 runes. But there is our 4th golden seed. Now we're going to come up into the fort. We're going to climb a ladder, and we're going to get 1/2 of the Dectus medallion. And now I am going to return to the last shrine, or last Site of Grace I had rested at, and we're going to fast travel again back to the Gatefront Ruins, where we're going to go pick up a golden, what is it, a gold pickled fowlfoot. And we're picking this up for a bit of a early game rune farm, which will tie into the mace we had picked up. Now, like I said, if you pick samurai, you don't have to worry about picking up the mace. But I do recommend getting the gold pickled fowlfoot here, because it will make you get like I think it's like 25% more runes. I could be wrong about that number, but it's a pretty big number difference between having it and not having it. So once again, returning to, I fast traveled out. I don't know why, but we're going to the Third Church of Marika again, and we're going to take the portal behind it that'll send us to, I think it's called Dragon Barrow. This will actually send us directly to the Bestial Sanctum, where Garang lives, or hides out, or resides. Um, he's another side quest character that gives you a bunch of rewards. You have to collect Death Root. I think there's 9 Death Root in the game. Yeah, there's 9 Death Root. But I'm not covering that in this video. Just something to mention to keep a lookout for. If you're watching this and going in on your first playthrough. Right here is our 5th golden seed. And grab this site of grace in case you die crossing the bridge or whatever. So now going across the bridge, you should see this minor Erd tree right in front of me. You're going to go around the Erd tree. Now, I suggest going around on the left side rather than the right hand side, because on the right hand side, you're going to run into this boss, the Putrid Avatar, and he's quite strong. And it's best to break line of sight with him sooner rather than later, because he will cast some pretty powerful spells at you. And at this level, you're just going to get one shot. So, rest at the site of grace, or grab the site of grace, don't rest at it yet. Because we will be coming back here a couple of times. Now we're going to run into this fort. And up here we'll get the second half of the Dectus Medallion, which we will use to go into Atlas Plateau here in a little bit. But there's actually 3 items in here that we're going to grab. We're going to get the Dectus Medallion. We're going to get a rune that's going to give us 75,000. Or not 75,000, sorry, 7,500. And we're going to get a talisman that will allow anyone, regardless of what character you picked, or what class you picked, the ability to use that mace that we picked up earlier in Weeping Peninsula. So after grabbing the second half of the medallion, you're going to jump down this hole. The rune is right here on this corpse hanging over the ledge. You're going to try to dodge that rat. I tanked the hit right there. Jump across. Then there's 2 rats right here on the other side of this wall. So try not to get hit by them. The big one will kill you. Drop down the hole. Pick up the Radagon Soreseal. And now we're going to return to the site of grace outside the fort. And I'm going to put the gold pickle foot on my hotbar. And now we're just going to kill this dragon. And there's a fun little trick with this dragon. If you want to sit here, you can sit here for hours killing this thing over and over and over again. Here I'm showing you the options. Radagon Soreseal gives you basically 20 levels. You get 5 points in Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity. So because the mace requires 12 Strength and I think 10 Dex to use, any character should be able to use the mace effectively just by equipping the Soreseal. So now we're just going to cut down the dragon. And I sped this up on ×4 so it doesn't take as long. But we're just going to hack, and cut away. So there's a couple ways you can do this. If you just want to kill this thing once, you can kill it once. Killing it once will net you like 95,000 runes. Or you can do what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use the gold pickle foot on the first kill. And then the second the tail twitches, which I'll slow this down, I'll show you the tail twitch. You're going to turn around, mount up on Torrent, and run straight back to that site of grace and rest at it as soon as possible. That will get you like 65, 67, I think, 1,000 runes. And then you can kill him again. And every time you kill him and rest at that site of grace, I think you get 50,000. So here, I'm going to swing one more time. Tail twitches. That's the cue to run back. And I'm only going to kill him twice because I get like 120,000 runes from killing him the 2 times rather than just the once. Yeah, so we got 65,000 runes basically. Now resting here, Melina will appear. She's going to ask you to just go to the round table hold. You can decline. You can go now. It doesn't matter. But we are going to decline here and we're going to go back. I'm going to kill the dragon one more time for an additional 50,000 runes. So back to ×4. And this should be enough runes to get you to basically level 40. So without killing any bosses, fighting really anything, we haven't fought anything up to this point. You can have, I think, 5 or 6 flasks reinforced 4 times, which is pretty good. Pretty good. You can be level 40. If you want to stop at this point, stop at this point. But we're going to go further. We're going to get everything that we can up until the Mountain of the Giants. The Mountain of the Giants is cutoff point. So we're going to go all the way to Atlas Plateau. And then after Atlas Plateau, you can't progress any further without going to Lindell, the capital city. So now I'm going to come over here. And as you can see, we have 140,000 runes to use right now. And I'm going to dump everything into health. I don't even care about my any other points anywhere. Because you kind of get more damage while upgrading your weapon than you do upgrading your stats, I think. This is the way it feels to me. So now that we have the levels and we have some golden seeds and some sacred tears, the next part is to go get an Ash of War. And we're going to get this Ash of War by going to this tower that you can see off in the distance to my right. And we're going to cheese the boss by running up the hill. And it might take you a couple tries to get this. I'm going to do this in real time, so you can kind of get a feel for how it has to be done. Basically, when you run up this hill, you want this Knight Cavalry to be right on your ass the entire time. You want to basically be able to see him in your camera as you're running up the hill. And as you get up the hill, he'll despawn, he'll die. Oh, I guess I don't slow it down. Okay, well, so much for that post-editing clarity. Oh, wait, do I? No, I don't. Okay. So yeah, you're going to run up this hill, and you should be able to see it. I think I slowed it down at the end, though. Hopefully. Yeah, here we go. So I slow it down right here. So you can see I can still see the horse's head in my camera as I reach the peak. And then as I run up here, he teleports back down. But I think he falls through the map because you're out of render. And you get 42,000 more runes, and you get the Ash of War Bloodhound Step, which is one of my favorite Ashes of War in the game. So to use this Ash of War, now we have to go back to the Gatefront Ruins to go get the Wet Blade, which will allow us to actually use, for you personally, I think if you go to the Round Table Hold, you can have the blacksmith do it regardless. But for you to customize your own weapons, you have to, at the Sites of Grace, you have to go get a whetstone. Whetstones will also enable you to add different prefixes to your weapons, modifiers like bloodied, poisoned, occult, keen, heavy, magic, frost, all that other stuff. So pick up the whetstone, and now I'm going to head to the Stormhill Shack, I guess. I'm not really sure why I went over here just yet. Assume I'll remember in a minute. But we're going to rest at the Site of Grace, and I'm going to put on Bloodhound Step. And I'm going to make my katana keen, so it has B scaling and dex. And I just pumped a little bit more endurance so I could attack more frequently before I had to wait for my stamina bar. So now we're going to have to do a little bit of running. And by a little bit of running, I mean a lot of running. So from the shack, you're going to go north along this stone road until you come to the broken bridge. And you're going to drop down and run all the way up into Lyronia. So now we're on the other side of Stormvale Castle, where you would fight Margit the Fell Omen and Godric the Grafted. And grab that set of grace, and there's a church right here where we will find our 5th sacred tier. There's a set of grace right there next to the merchant. I run past it though. I am going to stop right here and grab the map fragment. And then there's another set of grace right here on my right. If you want to grab that for like a safety net in case you get killed over here if you didn't drop all your points into health like I did. So we're going to grab this map fragment and this site of grace. And now we are at the Academy Gate Town. And there is another golden seed right over here to the northwest of that site of grace. And after grabbing that site of grace, we're going to head northeast until we get to the base of this mountain, and then we're going to go north around it, following it around clockwise until we see another giant walking mausoleum. And once we see that walking mausoleum, there is a spirit spring in the corner, right below that gate, that tower gate or castle gate right there in front of the bridge. We're going to use the spirit spring to jump up top. And there is a site of grace right here that you can grab as well. I do not. And I'm just going to show you guys where we are, where the spirit spring is exactly. To take this up. And now we're going to head northeast and to the Church of Bellum, where we will get our 6th sacred tier, I think. To be honest with you, I think I've already lost track of how many sacred tiers and golden seeds we've had, so I'll probably stop numbering them. I'm probably just going to start saying, here's another one. So now, rolling down the staircase, there's a golden seed down here, right at the base of this is like a tunnel that you can use to bypass the Grand Lift of Dectus. But there's a golden seed down here next to all of these, what are these called? Poison squirts. So yeah, grab this golden seed. And then because you were stuck in combat, using the map's not optional right now. So we're going to come over here, up these stairs, next to this ladder, and we're going to grab the Site of Grace. We're going to rest at it to reset aggro. And now that we've reset aggro, we're returning to the Church of Bellum. And now we have to go on a little journey to the Church of, I want to say Annihilation, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. But anyways, you're going back northeast, and we're gonna continue to hug this mountain in front of us on our right. We're gonna go all the way around. You can run the way I was going initially, but I'm really like super hesitant of how accurate these catapults are, so I decided to go up and around so I'm out of their line of sight. Now, something to note when you're coming up here, if you're a low level, or even level 40 or whatever. But you're following this guide. The only way there's two ways to deal with this. One, you can climb that tower right in front of me that you saw there for a second, and you can kill the 6 NPCs on top. But if you can't kill them quickly enough, you're gonna get a madness proc, and if you didn't dump all your points into health, you're probably gonna die. And running up here over and over and over again is annoying. So you're gonna want to use line of sight so that you're not the tower. Your character can't actually see the tower because your character can't see the tower. The flame can't get to you. You can see I'm gonna hide behind this rock. I'm gonna wait for my madness to tick down a little bit, and then we're gonna run up. We're gonna get invaded here. You can fight this guy if you want to. I don't. I'm not about that right now though because my weapons aren't upgraded. But we have another sacred tier right inside this church. It's the Church of Inhibition, not Annihilation, Inhibition. And I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna let this guy kill me. I'm just gonna respawn after I grab the Site of Grace. I'm gonna pull him away a little bit. I'm gonna run back. I'm gonna interact with the Site of Grace, and now I'm gonna let him kill me. So after respawning, picking up my runes, we're going back to the Church of Bellum. I'm sorry, Bellum Church, not the Church of Bellum. I'm adding extra words there. And now we're going to go northeast, and we're going to go use the Grand Lithidectus because we have both halves of this the medallion. And we're going to go up into Atlas Plateau, where we're going to get our last two sacred tiers. Yeah, our last two sacred tiers, and I think there's 1, 2, maybe 5 golden seeds up here as well. And by the way, there's probably more golden seeds that I've ran past that I couldn't think of. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think there was 1 or 2 that we could have probably went and picked up. But you're gonna have 10 flasks right after we finish up this area, pretty much. And you're gonna have it reinforced 10 times. So you're gonna get if you're assuming you don't dump 45 points into health like I did, you're gonna use a flask once and you're gonna instantly heal. It doesn't matter how close to death you are. And 10 flasks, we haven't even killed a boss yet. We haven't fought a boss. We haven't done much of anything. So, anyways, yeah. After getting off the Grand Lithidectus, you're gonna run up here, grab that Site of Grace, grab that golden seed. There's a map fragment right here. And then right down here, right below that map fragment, is another church and another sacred seed, or sacred tier. I'm sorry, not sacred seed. And I believe that's 8. Right now we have 8 sacred tiers. So climb your way out. And then now that we've reset aggro, I'm showing you guys where it was, the Second Church of America. We're going to return to the Site of Grace that we had grabbed before we got the map fragment and the last golden seed. And now we're going to go west across this valley, and be careful because there's a bunch of flamethrower catapults, soldiers over here. They're going to constantly throw stuff at you, try to kill you. There's another golden seed right here. And I think that's our 10th golden seed. I think. But now, once again, that's the Erdtree Gazing Hill. We're going back to the Atlas Highway Junction Site of Grace that we've now gone to 3 times. And now we're going to go east up this cobblestone road, up these stone stairs between these really gothic looking structures all the way up. Now there's a 2 tree sentinels here. You can just run past them. They don't follow you very far. They won't follow you all the way to the point where we're going right now. They can't. They tether. So there's a site of grace. There's 2 golden seeds, and there's a map fragment right here. You make sure you grab all of that. And we're here with the outer wall phantom tree. Now we're going to go west, or sorry, yeah, we're going. No, we're going north. We're going north up this stone ramp. It's a gargoyle. That's a boss. You can probably ignore that. It's a world boss. It's optional. Here we have 2 more golden seeds. Which I think that's 15. It's either 14 or 15. And we're gonna grab this site of grace, just for convenience sake for coming back up here in the future. And now we're going west. And once we get outside the wall, we're turning. We're heading south. And just up here past where you see the lightning striking, there'll be another church with our last secret tier. So this is our 10th. No, sorry. This is our 9th. We have 1 more to get. So returning to the fort in Caelid, where we killed the big white dragon, we're going to head southwest, where you'll see a spirit spring. Use that to drop down. Continue heading south. You'll see a church. There are some. I don't know what these things are called. They look like giant shrimp, but they're dangerous. So try not to aggro them. Grab the site of grace, and that is our 10th sacred tier, right there in front of us. And now it's time to upgrade. So we have 13 golden seeds, and we have 10 sacred tiers. That's enough to give us 10 flasks at plus 10. So right now, if you want, you can click off. You don't have to go any further. Like I said, you're above level 40. You have 10 flasks. They're reinforced 10 times. You're pretty much all set to go all the way through Limgrave, through Weaving Peninsula. You can do a bunch of stuff in Caelid. Lyronia Lake should be a breeze for you. You're only going to really probably start running into trouble around Atlas Plateau, Mount Gelmer, Lindell. And as you can see right now, it's an hour and 4 minutes in. We're an hour and 4 minutes in, and you don't have to worry about a flask or a sacred tier until you are well past Atlas Plateau, going into the Mountain of the Giants for your last 2 sacred tiers. But if you're sticking with me, we're going back to the shack in Limgrave, where now, because Rodreka has moved to the Round Table Hold, we can get her golden seed at the shack. And now we're going to go west around this mountainside, and we're going to go pick up some smithing stones. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade our weapon to +4. So there's 1. Now you need 12. You need 12 smithing stone 1s. And 2 smithing stone 2s to get your weapon +4. So I'm showing you the location real quick. So we're going back to the Stormhill Shack once again. And now we are going to go southeast from that site of grace, where we will see a group of chairs. There will be a dead guy in one chair, and there will be a corpse next to another. with 3 more smithing stone tier 1s. After which we're now going to head east. This graveyard, all these graveyards, every graveyard you've seen me run past so far, they're lined, literally chocked full of runes. So if you want to pick those up, go for it. Here's Bernal. I figured I'd show him just in case. He sells a bunch of different Ashes of War. A lot of them are very useful. And since, you know, you're probably sitting on a couple thousand runes at this point, if you wanted to buy some, I'd say go for it. So now I'm just showing you the path between Stormhill Shack and Bernal's Shack. And now we're going again southeast. You should see a bunch of giants right behind his shack. And in the middle of all these giants is the statue. You're going to have one of the giants walk into the statue, and that'll break it, and you're going to get a couple of smithing stones. You get a couple of tier 1s and I think 1 tier 2. So now move the giants away from the statue. Turn back and grab that. Yeah, so we got 5 1s and 1 2. And now we are going to head northeast to get our last. Well, so I can recap on the other one I got earlier when we crossed the bridge in the first place. So if you remember this guy on the bridge, the corpse on the left-hand side. Yeah. So after we cross the bridge, we're going to continue east, southeast. We're going to... Actually, I'm going to teleport back to the Third Church of America because this is actually faster. It's a lot faster than running along and dropping down. It's a lot easier to jump up than it is to jump down. So we're going to walk up here, and there's a bear and a bunch of wolves, right? The bear is guarding a tier 2 smithing stone. So grab that, and now get out of there before the bear dismounts you or the wolves do, because they will take big chunks out of Torrent's health. So there. We have 11 tier 1s. And if you're short 1 or 2, or maybe you picked up 1 or 2, you don't need to do this. But I didn't feel like running around looking for a 12 tier 1's smithing stone. So we're going to return to the first steps. And we're going to run down this hillside where this giant is on the west side of Limgrave. And there's a merchant down here, and he'll sell you 3 tier 1 smithing stones. So if you're short 1, 2, 3, just you can come down here, you talk to this guy, you buy a couple. And then you're all set. I'm going to buy it all 3. And now, as of right now, barely any more time has passed. We are an hour and 12 minutes in. You have 10 flasks reinforced 10 times. You are level 40 plus. You have a +4 weapon. You're all set. Like the game is going to be a breeze for you. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm setting up for the next step. If you're still with me, you're still following me. We're going to go a little bit further. We're going to get another sacred tier. We're going to get Oh, sorry, we're not going to get another sacred tier. We're going to get another flask, or we're going to go get a couple more golden seeds. A couple more golden seeds, and we're going to show off what we can do. Killing a boss. Killing 2 bosses, actually. And we're going to +5 our weapon instead of just leaving it at +4. And we are also going to go show you the best rune farm in the game. So now we're going to rest at this site of grace, and we're going to ask Melina to show us to the round table hold. So now that we're here, we can do some weapon upgrades. Come over here, talk to the blacksmith. If you're short on runes, we did pick up that one in the fort for 7,500. Now you see we got the +4 Uchigatana. I think I'm sitting at like 1.5k health. I got a bunch of endurance. And what we're going to do now is we're going to buy a bow. Now, if you didn't pick Samurai, not a big deal. You can buy this bow. It's super cheap. 1,200 runes. You should have runes to spare. You can get the bell and the wolves. Assuming you didn't make a point to stop by and talk to Ronnie. I know I didn't go over that, but when I was doing this, it was to make a PvP character real quickly, and I skipped a bunch of like extra side stuff that's like really not necessary. So I didn't make a point to go and talk to Ronnie. But anyways, we're going back to the Stormhill Shack, and we're gonna go up the hill, take that right, take that left, go up here, grab the Site of Grace, and we're gonna go kill Margaret the Fellowman. And now, I gotta give a disclaimer, right? Do not play like this. If you get in the habit of like, if this is your first run through the game, this isn't like an alt character for you. If this is genuinely your first character. Playing like this is gonna put bad habits in. You should play the game like every hit's gonna kill you and do your best to dodge hits. Because if you get into this like bad habit of tanking hits and trying to trade with bosses, come late game and mid game, like you're gonna get clapped. Like these bosses are not gonna be as forgiving. This guy's super easy. He's the first boss in the game. I know like Twitter and a bunch of YouTube videos have like, oh man, Margaret the Fellow, the hardest boss in the game. But he's difficult, but like he's nothing too bad. There are much harder bosses in this game. But don't just do what I'm doing here. Don't just take hits. Try to actually fight him like you're trying to win, like you have something to lose. Cause like I'm just letting this guy smash me, like because I know he can't kill me. It's kind of just like to show off like what you can do, like how easy mode is achieved. But like just because the game is now easy for you doesn't mean um, you know fool around and stuff because it those bad habits. If this is your first FromSoft game, will come back to bite you. So we're grabbing the Site of Grace. We're gonna go up into the castle now, and in the castle we have a couple of golden seeds to grab, so that we can +4, or we can sorry, not +4, so we can get our 11th flask. And we're gonna get enough tier 2 smithing stones to +5 our Uchigatana. And that guy that we talked to in that room who told us to use the secret passage, he's a bit of a trap because for one, if you listen to him and you come this way, he traps you in this room and tries to kill you, right? And for the most part, he's probably going to. If this is your first time and you're not prepared for this, or you're not following this guy, like you're gonna die to this guy. And so on top of him trapping you in this room, right? Gostic also, that's his name. Gostok will also steal a portion of your runes every time you die in Stormville Castle. And there's only 2 ways to stop that from happening, or 3 ways. One is you can kill him where he stands when you come meet him, and run this way, or you can tell him to open the main gate, and use the main gate and then kill him. Or I don't do this, I don't think, but alternatively, if you run through this entire castle and you get to the main gate through the interior and then open it from the interior, that stops him from stealing your runes, and he becomes a merchant. Alternatively, if you kill Godric the Grafted, he also stops stealing your runes. Um, I don't recommend killing him though, because if you do Nefeli in Kenneth's questline, like I said earlier, actually I don't know if I said this earlier, but if you do Nefeli in Kenneth's questline, making Nefeli the Queen of Limgrave, she gives you a free Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone, and then Gostock will sell you another one for 20,000 runes. So basically, around the time you get to Lindell and you kill Morgott, you can have 2 Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones and the ability to plus 25 your weapons as soon as you get the tier 6, 7, 8s, and 9 Smithing Stones that you need. Which is great. It's super great early game. So yeah, I don't suggest killing him, and if you do kill him, by the way, at any point, he does return all your runes that he's stolen from you. But anyway, so I don't know if you were following that path we just took, but once we get into this tower, we're going to rest at that site of grace. We're going to take this lift up. As you can see, we still have 2 golden seeds at this point. We had 1 left over. We got 1 from Redreka at the shack when we spawned there. We're going to get another one right here, our 3rd right here at this tree inside the castle. Now, Nefeli is located inside of the shack over here. You can talk to her. She's the one who will end up giving you that Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. And then if you wanted to duel or something, there's this 4 tier 1s you just picked up right there in that corner. So I'm running back up on the rest of the site of grace. And I probably could have organized this last part a little bit better, but I didn't. So we're going back to the lifted chamber, which was the previous set of grace we rested at. And now I'm going to pull this lever. No, I'm not going to pull that lever. I don't know why I walked over there and did that. But anyways, we're going to go outside. We're going to come around. This is corpse with a 2 tier 1s. You're going to grab those. You're going to drop down and get 2 tier 2s off that corpse. And down here, there is a, what are they called? Are they called ulcerated tree spirits, something like that? I forget what the boss is called. I think it's like ulcerated something. But they basically like big tree lizards. They're kind of weird. But anyway, so you can come down here. This thing's going to pop out the ground. And anytime you kill any of these, anytime you find one of these, I believe all of them will drop you a golden seed. So if you ever come across one of these things, make sure you kill it so you can get all your flasks on your first playthrough. Oh, and at about 60% health, 50% health somewhere, they're going to glow and explode. So make sure if you don't have the health to tank that you're running away before that happens. That is our last golden seed. At the end of that room, by the way, there's a giant like face. Next to that giant face is a bloodstain. If you interact with the bloodstain, that's going to help you further Sorcerer Rugier's quest line. I don't go do that because I'm not interested in NPC quests right now. I'm just trying to, get a character to level 80 as fast as possible. So we're going to teleport back out. Now we're going to pull the lever. I don't know why I didn't pull the lever earlier. And I just upgraded my flaskins. Now we have 11 flasks plus 10. We are level 40 plus, and we're about the plus 5 our weapon. Pretty impressive for sub 2 hours. So after taking that lift, we're going to come over here and you'll see a corpse there. There should be a message there for most platforms. You're going to jump across, I had a brain fart. I totally forgot that I didn't need to jump back across again. So I'm gonna do it again one more time. We're gonna walk over here. We're gonna jump across. We're gonna jump across, and then I'm not going to jump down like a dummy. Now turning to your right, you should see an archway. You go through the arch into this tower. Up top, you jump over here. Here's another tier. Here's 3 tier 2 smithing stones. And 1 more tier 1. And I thought I missed something, so I run back out. You don't have to do this. I didn't miss anything. Now going into this tower, there will be a shield for anyone who wants to use a great shield. Manor Tower Shield is a extremely good shield early on. Has 100 physical resistance. So long as you have stamina, you're not taking any damage. And there is your first tier 3 smithing stone. On the ledge there, you're going to jump down. I don't think there's really anything of value down here, but I do run all the way back around rather than teleporting out because it's a shortcut. I'm pretty inconsistent with my motivation. Sometimes I don't know if I want to explore, if I want to just go from point A to point B. All that for relief that I'm never going to use. Yeah, I probably should have just left and went back after I picked up the tower shield and the tier 3 stone. I don't recommend dropping down here because the only thing down here are bats. So now I'm returning to the lift side chamber, when I think I probably should have returned to the fortified manor, or not fortified manor, the round table hold. And I'm going to go back to the secluded cell now. Dude, my brain just lags IRL so hard. Oh, right, we have to get the last smithing stone. So killing these 2 guys, because they're going to be a pain in the butt. The giant killed them for me. Appreciate you. Or not the giant, the troll. So, last smithing stone. We're going to kite this troll, right, all the way down to the courtyard. And we're going to use him to now, it might be a good idea for you to come through the lift chamber and kill these birds and stuff. I don't do that because I like making things difficult for myself. But you're going to kite this troll down to the end where there will be a glowing statue. We're going to use this troll to break it open. Be careful for the omen because he can't get you. He's quite strong, and so is his dog. Fortunately, the troll is going to help us out. He punches, kills the dog. We get the 5 tier 1s and the 1 tier 2. Now I'm going to run back up. I'm going to rest at the site of grace again to drop aggro. Now I'm going back to the round table hold to +5 the sword, and we're going to kill Godric the Grafted. Now once again, if you don't care about getting to this rune farm, you don't have to keep watching. You can click off right now if you've been following along so far. But we're going to kill Godric the Grafted so we can get a great rune. And we need 1 great rune so that we can go and talk to the 2 fingers, which will then prompt Vari to leave Limgrave and move to Lyronia Lake at the Rose Church, where we can start his quest line. Now, if you were just like going through the game on your first run, and you hadn't done any of the rune farming stuff with the dragon or the knight cavalry, and put any points in the health, that flame grab he did with that dragon mouth, that's like a one shot. Like, you're done after that. So we got our great rune. I'm gonna give her up the site of grace, and we're gonna go back to the round table hold. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna talk to Grandma. I call her Grandma because I don't know what her name is and I don't really care to learn it. Now you're gonna go interact with the two fingers. He gives you an emote. And now we're going to Lyronia Lake at the Academy Gate Town site of Grays, and we're going to head west. And I'm going to mark it right here so everyone can see it. But right here on this little rock is the nearest site of Grays to the Rose Church. And if you're going to PvP in this area, it's probably a safe bet that you want to grab that site of Grays. Because if you're going to sit around and wait to be invaded at the Rose Church, I sit at the Rose Church when I'm PvPing, and I wait for people to invade me. Because if I die, I spawn either at the stake, which is in front of the church, or I will spawn at the site of grace at that rock, and it's really not that far of a walk back, so... So now going west in the site of grace, you can see here's the church. We're going to talk to Vare, and Vare is going to give us 5 bloodied fingers. You have to use and invade three people, so you have to use 3 out of the 5. And once you've invaded 3 people, you can talk to him again. I cut the PvP because the PvP was atrocious. It was bad. The 3 people I invaded were sitting at like across from like the McDonald's Wi-Fi, and the McDonald's Wi-Fi was stealing their Wi-Fi from like Burger King. It was really, really, really bad. Um, So, anyways, after doing the 3 PvP invasions and talking to him again, he'll give you a flag. We're returning to the Church of Inhibition, where we're going to use the flag on that dead girl in that chair. And we're going to cover the flag in her blood, the maiden blood. And now we're going to return the flag to Vare, and he is going to cut off our finger and give it to us, which will then allow us to have a infinite source of invasion. So instead of using like the temporary limited use festering bloody fingers, you get this version, which has infinite uses, which is pretty cool. If you really like PvP, bloody finger's pretty good. Then you're going to talk to him again, and he's going to give us this metal, this pure blood knight metal. And he tells us not to use it, but we're going to use it anyways, because rune farm. So here we are. And now you're going to run northeast along this canyon wall. Yeah, just continue northeast. Don't divert from the hugging the left side of the canyon wall like I did, because it's pretty easy to get lost and killed. You're gonna get to this site of grace, and then if you remember that bow that I told you guys to buy when we were in the round table hold the first time, now we're gonna use it. Most people know about the spot. The spot's not new. I just figured I'd put it in the video to wrap it up. You're gonna equip some arrows. You're gonna equip the bow. You're gonna rest at the site of grace, and every 12 seconds you can get I think 11,000 runes here without any golden pickle fowl foot or the golden scarab. I think you get like 15,000 if you have the golden pickle fowl foot and the golden scarab. Alternatively, if farming birds isn't your bag, you can kill these guys. They give you 2,000 apiece. It's a lot slower. You have to worry about these red guys who will come spinning at you, but yeah, they're gonna give you 2k apiece. It's pretty decent. If you have like a weapon that can kill these guys in 1 or 2 hits, or kill multiple of them in 1 hit or 2 hits, like I think farming these is a little bit better than farming the bird. But it's still extremely repetitive and extremely boring. And I hate every time I come here and do this for a new character I'm building. But anyways, I'm tired. It took me a while to record this video. It took me a lot longer to edit it. Now I'm getting ready to go to bed. So if you enjoyed, you found this helpful, if you stuck around to this point, thank you. Um, I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. Um, for the until June 2nd, I will be probably exclusively streaming on Twitch at playerbenefit.twitch.tv or Twitch TV slash playerbenefit. And as you can see, we're just under 2 hours and we have a lot done. But that's going to wrap up this video, and take care.